Have you ever stood up for someone everyone else was ignoring, only to discover they were hiding a secret that would change your life forever? One young woman in a high-rise office building did exactly that, defending a quiet black janitor who cleaned up after everyone else. No one respected him. No one even saw him. Until one act of kindness revealed he wasn't just a janitor, he was a billionaire in disguise, searching for someone who would love him for who he was, not what he had. This is the heartwarming story of Sophia Reynolds and Elijah Grant, a romance that proves true wealth is found in character, not bank accounts. If this hook already has you smiling, hit that like button right now, subscribe, and turn on notifications bell so you never miss these beautiful stories. And please, drop a comment below telling me where in the world you're watching from. I read every single one and love connecting with you all. Now, let's get into the story. Sophia Reynolds was 25 years old, a junior marketing assistant at Apex Global, a massive advertising firm in downtown Manhattan. She'd moved to New York from a small town in Ohio 3 years earlier, full of dreams and determination. She worked long hours for modest pay, lived in a tiny studio apartment in Brooklyn, and sent money home to help her mom with medical bills. Sophia was kind, sharp, and quietly ambitious, the kind of person who always held the door for others and remembered everyone's name. The office was a typical corporate jungle, competitive, flashy, and often cold. Designers wore designer labels, executives name-dropped celebrity clients, and status was everything. Then there was Elijah. Elijah Grant was 42, tall, broad-shouldered, with warm brown eyes, a neatly trimmed beard, and a quiet smile that rarely showed. He wore the standard Navy janitor uniform, pushed a cleaning cart through the floors every evening, and emptied trash bins without a word. Most employees walked past him like he was invisible. Some tossed wrappers on the floor just after he'd swept. A few, especially the younger brokers on the trading floor, made snide comments when they thought he couldn't hear. "Watch out, the help is coming through." "Hey, man, you missed a spot." Laughter followed. Elijah never reacted. He just kept working, mopping, dusting, restocking supplies. He'd been there for 6 months, always polite, always thorough. Sophia noticed him from day one. She'd say good evening when their paths crossed. She'd thank him when she saw fresh towels in the restroom. Once, when everyone else ignored the overflowing kitchen trash during a late-night crunch, she helped him tie the bags. "You don't have to do that, miss," he said quietly. "It's Sophia," she replied with a smile. "And it's no trouble. You do a lot around here." He nodded gratefully, something soft in his eyes. The turning point came on a rainy Thursday in November. The office was preparing for a major client pitch. Tension was high. Coffee cups and takeout containers littered every conference room. At 8 p.m., after most people had left, a group of senior account managers, led by Brad Kensington, a smug 30-year-old VP with a trust fund and an ego to match, were still in the boardroom. Elijah entered to clean up the mess. Brad didn't even look up. "Hey, can you hurry it up? Some of us are trying to work here." Elijah nodded. "Yes, sir. I'll be quick." As Elijah bent to pick up crumpled papers, Brad kicked one toward him, deliberately. "Oops. Missed that one." His colleague snickered. Sophia, working late at her desk nearby, overheard everything. Something snapped inside her. She stood up and walked into the boardroom. "Excuse me," she said firmly. "That's completely unnecessary." Brad looked at her like she was an insect. "Reynolds, right? Mind your own business." "No," she said, voice steady. "This is my business." He's doing his job, a job that keeps this place running so you can have your fancy meetings. The least you could do is treat him with basic respect. The room went silent. Brad smirked. "Oh, standing up for the help now? How noble." Sophia didn't back down. "He has a name. And he deserves better than being treated like garbage by people who think they're above him." Elijah paused, trash bag in hand, watching her with quiet surprise. Brad rolled his eyes. "Whatever. Clean up and get out, both of you." Sophia turned to Elijah. "I'm sorry you had to deal with that." He met her eyes. "Thank you, Sophia." The next day, rumors flew. Sophia was the girl who defended the janitor. Some admired her. Most thought she was naive, or worse, risking her career for someone beneath her. Brad made sure she was left off important emails for a week. But Elijah noticed everything. Over the following months, small things began happening. Sophia's favorite coffee, a specific oat milk latte from the expensive shop downstairs, would appear on her desk on tough mornings, anonymously. When the office heater broke during a cold snap, her desk area mysteriously stayed warm. Elijah had quietly adjusted the vents. Once, when she stayed late studying for an online certification, the lights in her section stayed on long after the building's auto shut off. She began to suspect. One Friday night in March, the office was nearly empty. Sophia was finishing a report when Elijah appeared with his cart. "You're here late again," he said softly. "Deadlines," she smiled. "You too?" He chuckled. "Always." They talked, really talked, for the first time. About life, dreams, family. He asked about her mom's health. She asked about his daughters. He'd mentioned them once. He spoke of them with such pride. "You're a good person, Sophia," he said as he prepared to leave. "Not many would have done what you did that night." She shrugged. It was the right thing. He paused at the door. "Some people spend their whole lives looking for someone who sees them. You saw me." Then he was gone. 2 weeks later, everything changed. Sophia received an email from HR. "Please report to the 50th floor executive conference room at 10 a.m. tomorrow." Her stomach dropped. The 50th floor was where the C-suite worked. She'd never been above 42. She arrived in her best blazer, expecting a reprimand, or worse, termination for the Brad incident. Instead, she was greeted by a man in a tailored charcoal suit, Elijah. Clean-shaven, hair perfectly styled, standing tall and commanding. Beside him stood the company founder and CEO, Marcus Whitfield, a legendary figure she'd only seen in photos. And Brad, pale and silent. "Sophia," Elijah said warmly, extending his hand. "Thank you for coming." She stared, confused. "Elijah." He smiled, the same kind smile, but now with confidence that filled the room. "My full name is Elijah Marcus Grant. I'm the majority shareholder and silent owner of Apex Global and several other companies. Net worth, well, Forbes says $6.8 billion last I checked." Her mouth fell open. Marcus Whitfield stepped forward. "Elijah has been evaluating our company culture. Undercover. For the past 6 months." Elijah continued. "I wanted to see how people treated those they thought were beneath them. Most failed the test. Spectacularly." He looked at Brad, who stared at the floor. But one person passed with flying colors. "You." Sophia shook her head. "I don't understand." "I've been looking for more than a company to invest in," Elijah said softly. "I've been looking for a partner. Someone genuine. Someone with heart. My wife passed 5 years ago. I've dated models, heiresses, CEOs. All saw the money first. I wanted someone who would see me, the man, first." He stepped closer. "You defended me when I was just a janitor. You saw my humanity when no one else did. That's the rarest kind of wealth." Tears filled her eyes. Over the next year, everything transformed. Brad was demoted, then quietly let go. Sophia was promoted to Director of Culture and Inclusion, a new role Elijah created, with a salary that cleared her mom's medical debt in one check. But more importantly, she and Elijah began dating. Quietly at first, coffee walks, dinners in small Brooklyn spots she loved, visits to his daughters, who adored her immediately. He never rushed her. Never flaunted wealth. He drove a regular sedan on dates, wore jeans and sneakers. She fell in love with the man who'd once pushed a cleaning cart, the one who read bedtime stories to his girls, who volunteered at food banks, who listened like every word she said mattered. A year after that meeting on the 50th floor, Elijah proposed. Not on a yacht or private jet, but in the same office building, after hours, where he'd once cleaned floors. He'd arranged for the lights to spell "Will you marry me" across the conference tables and candles. She said yes through happy tears. Today, Sophia and Elijah live in a beautiful but not ostentatious home in Westchester. She runs the Grant Foundation, focused on education equity and workplace dignity. His daughters call her mom. And every year, on their anniversary, they return to that building. Elijah pushes a borrowed cleaning cart down the hall, just once, wearing his old uniform. Sophia walks beside him, laughing, to remind themselves where it all began. Because sometimes, the person everyone ignores is the one worth everything. Elijah Grant didn't just find a wife when a young woman defended a janitor no one respected. He found proof that love isn't blind, it's the only thing that truly sees. What did you think of Sophia and Elijah's story? Would you have stood up like she did? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to tell me where you're watching from today. Like, subscribe, share with someone who believes in kindness, and I'll see you in the next one.